Hello everyone. Something happened to my dog recently, and it has made me think that I should say this because of the time of year that it is and the amount of plants that people tend to have in the house that you may not be aware have unhealthy effects on the family and especially the pets. Now, recently I was given a plant as a present, and I made one mistake that I really shouldn't have. I always check how a plant is supposed to react with pets. Now, the plant that I was given was called calancho. It's a succulent, part of the cactus and aloe vera family, which we also know that aloe vera is very toxic to pets. But anyway, here is what happened. I knew that if he ate the plant, it would make him sick and possibly turn him to soil. However, he had not been eating the plant, so I did not expect the events that happened to take place. I was going about my day when I saw him drinking water like he normally does, except that this water came from watering the plants. Normally, because the plants that I have are safe for pets, I don't normally think twice about him doing this, but when a plant is dangerous, it's even worse in liquid form, especially if the dog is small. Small dogs will not only react quicker to any effect on their body, but especially if they're small, smaller dogs are known for having seizures more than big dogs. It's normally the small and hyperactive ones. Border collies are the exception, but again, they're quite hyper. Now, something I want to talk about is the reaction to being poisoned, minus the turning to soil. Obviously, that could happen during the effects. This is what happened when Jack drank calancho water. First of all, he went to lie down. Now, being that he is a terrier, terriers are known for twitching in their sleep. However, if you notice any of the other effects from your dog, then it may be more than just dreaming. After he woke up, he became very nervous and skittish and went to try and hide. He also could not be touched, and I don't know if anyone has had a seizure and woken up where you feel like your skin is on fire. But now imagine that you can't speak the language, and then you'll understand what happened next. Now, he also drank the calancho water a day before and had had a similar reaction, but I'll come back to that in a minute. This is just his reaction with me afterwards. So I saw him trying to hide under my bed, and I went to touch him because I knew something was wrong, and normally he wants comfort. Except the minute that my thumb so much as touched his back, it was as if he was a different dog, and he bit my thumb. He also had a biting reaction the day before with another family member of mine. By the way, we're all doing okay. Both our thumbs are nearly healed now, and no one is hurt beyond repair. He didn't seem to realise that he had done it, because when he came round on both occasions, when he saw the red stuff, he immediately panicked and tried to make it better. It was a bit like when you've got someone who is blackout drunk. Anything that person does when blackout drunk, I wouldn't blame them for, because they're not aware of what they're doing. So he was recovering from a seizure and poisoning. Please keep in mind that this plant is enough to take down cattle and humans, and we just ended up with a dog that bit people for 2 days. I thought I would mention this plant because this is a plant that people tend to have as a house plant, especially in the winter. And it doesn't mean that you can't have the plant, but it does mean don't let your pet drink the water. Obviously, don't let them eat the plant. Make sure to put them out of the way so that this doesn't happen to you. Jack was very all over the place for about a week, and it took him about 10 days to stop shaking completely. But there are other plants that you could have at this time of year which are also dangerous to pets. I think we should talk about that. Fir trees are very toxic to cats and dogs. Mistletoe is also very dangerous to cats and dogs. Obviously, things like alcohol, raisins or grapes, chocolate and things like that can cause similar reactions. Other signs of poisoning can include throwing up, and if you see any of the signs, call your vet. But if your dog is not prone to sudden changes in behaviour, and this is a new thing, then think about your pet's diet and surroundings and see if anything has changed. Because it was only by doing that I noticed what had caused the dog to react like he did. Also, another sign of poisoning and seizures is uncontrolled bladder. Sometimes bowels too, but normally bladder. So if they wake up from twitching on the floor, have an accident and have a new personality, then they may not be dangerous, they might just be sick. And there are things that you can do for a dog that has seizures. Things like making sure that they're in a recovery position, making sure that they have time to recover before physical contact, and if you have to, use some kind of oral restraint if you know that they are prone to being snappy when they come round. Now, luckily for me, my dog is as tough as old nails, but he's not as young as he could have been, and this could still have gone very badly. Luckily, he just had a biting frenzy and then he was good within about 10 days. However, there is another thing that can make a dog or animal in general become suddenly snappy out of nowhere, and this can be to do with the people in his life. Do you have someone who likes to tease dogs, or a kid around that is a tail or whisker puller? Either make sure the person stops doing it, or if you can't help that, put your animal in another room so that they can have peace. Also, my dog hates being aggressive because it makes him have seizures. Whenever he gets overly excited, stressed or aggressive, he is known to seize. Also, sudden sounds like popping balloons, fireworks, and other sounds like that can also affect him. And another thing that can affect animals that have seizures, like us humans, is flashing lights. So don't test it. Not for a test and not for TikTok. If you ignore me and you try to do it and you stare at me with the one remaining eye you have left, I warned you. I also want to point out just quickly that dogs do not just turn. If it appears that way, something has happened. It could be their health, or it could be a specific person. Same with cats. You'll notice that Bonjour's ear doesn't look normal. I will go into what happened to his ear when I talk about him on another video. But when that was in its prime of going down, it was as if it wasn't Bonj. His behaviour was so different and he just started attacking and biting everyone. Not the Bonjour that you would see on camera. But he was in pain and he couldn't articulate it. Luckily, I found some itching and numbing cream which got rid of the pain, and I will leave that in the description for anyone who has an itchy pet. Now, to the people who have been bitten by a pet cat or dog, don't go running to the vets immediately because you don't need to. Unless a life has been taken, there may be a way around avoiding this happening again. There could be muzzles needed or a chain, or if it's a health issue, it may not even happen again. My dog is not a dangerous dog. He's not out for blood. He was poisoned by Calancho and now he's better. So think carefully before tearing up someone's family. Think about how you would react if your skin was on fire and someone touched you and you didn't speak the language. I have fibromyalgia, so I understand, but I speak English. I decided to make this video as well because a lot of people think that once a dog bites, it will do it again, that it wants to do it again. Blah, blah, blah. That's not true. What if they're sick? Animals attack when they feel threatened or when they're hungry. Another reason is pain. Keep in mind, we are talking about the domestic dog and cat. We're not talking about wolves that will do anything in order to stay alive. There are always signs with dog behaviour, and I will leave a link to the video that I've put in my descriptions before to identify when a dog is going to snap. And regarding the dog that snapped, she gave multiple warnings that she was uncomfortable and felt threatened, and the other dog did not notice. What I will say is that there is another thing that can cause a dog to be aggressive, which is second-hand dogs and the mistreatment that they've been through. In those cases, because you may not know what exactly happened, it's best to remove the animal from the situation rather than risk it until you know more. Same with if you have a dog that has seizures and you don't know what causes them. It could even just be overexcitement at meeting a new person. In my opinion, it's not the dog's fault. There are exceptions with things like food aggression, but you can train a dog out of that. When a dog is aggressive, they tend to give signals. When a dog is just sick, That's when you tend to not see the signals. My dog has a grudge against some people, and the minute that he sees them coming, there go the signals. And I'm going to tell you now, it's unlikely that you're going to be able to change your dog's behavior toward the person that they don't like, unless you sit the person down and ask them exactly what they do when they're with their pets. You're not really going to change the dog's mind. It's not the dog's fault if it's just defending itself. So to wrap it up, if you have a dog that's behaving oddly, check it out and think about the circumstances surrounding the situation before acting. If you're the owner, put things in place to make sure that it doesn't happen again. If you're the victim, think carefully before tearing families apart, because there may be another way around it. By the way, it's International Mutt Day today, so I hope you have been giving your dog lots of love. Anyway, I just want you to know this. You're handsome and you're beautiful, and you, well, I'm speechless. I'll let you know next time I see you. Over to the pets. Hello all, this is Sylvie. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.
Hey everyone, my name's Bonjo. If you enjoyed yourself, then give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and if you had fun, then comment down below and let my mum know what was your most awful illness.